if you want, we could start talking about your book. I'm going to share it so everybody can see the book. Now, how did you start? Let me just make sure that you can see it. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. So what made you, and I'm going to leave a link in the description for the book as well to make it easier for everybody. What made you get into the book and creating this?
Right. So, like I said, I'm Buddhist.
Mm-hmm.
I have been raised in it, so I've had like 40 plus years of Buddhism and knowledge. And one of the things, the basic principles of Buddhism, no matter the form, is Buddha's foundings of the Four Noble Truths and Eightfold Path. Okay, that's the basic of the philosophy in the Buddhist spiritual tradition. And what the book goes over is kind of demystifying and explaining the Four Noble Truths and Eightfold Paths of Buddhism and how you apply it in your everyday practice in your life. And through applying these principles, you actually raise your energetic frequency and manifest a parallel reality that is in line with what you are radiating at. So Buddha talked a lot about parallel realities and about self-help work, and working on addressing your own personal issues. And by doing that awakening inner work on yourself, you actually change your outer reality into one that is more fitting with kind of what you radiate at. So, I basically explain a lot of that in this book. It's a very quick, easy read. I think it's only maybe about 130 pages, so it's a nice, easy read. And it's, very, very easy to understand, and it kind of breaks up a lot of the confusion that people have in the West about what Buddhism is and, what the philosophy is and how does it change your reality. So, and I would say I know a lot of Buddhists that still work on these principles over and over and over again to try to change their outer reality. So, and again, it all begins on the inner side, because when you change your inner self and you have your own awakening, you address your dark night of the soul, you address the issues that you have been avoiding and you work on them. You not only change yourself, but you change your frequency. And according to Buddhist philosophy, you change the reality that you experience, because then you manifest a different reality that is in line with what you're radiating at. So in Western terms, the expression of that you have done is what they call the Mandela Effect. You've changed your history and now you're experiencing a new reality. And it all begins with that inner work.
Absolutely.
That's how you raise your frequency. And that's how you change your reality, the hologram.
Yes, it seems like it'd be pretty interesting. Now, is this more for information purposes, or is this for like healing your inner self, or is this more like to expand your consciousness kind of thing?
All the above.
Okay.
So all the above. Like I said, it basically breaks down the basic principles of the spiritual tradition of Buddhism. It breaks down what is the Four Noble Truths and what is the Eightfold Path that addresses the Four Noble Truths. And then I give some examples, real life examples of how you can apply it in your life. And by doing this, and there's a lot of spiritual traditions that do this, Native American, Celtic, a lot of different ones. And they even do this, they try to do this in religions as well. So, you pick your medicine, whatever works for you. But for this spiritual tradition that I'm raised in and I'm familiar with, this is how you do it in Asia. This is how you do your awakening. This is how you change your reality. It's very entertaining. I've had people read it and they go, "Oh, I didn't know that about Buddhism. I thought Buddhism was some weird New Age thing." I had somebody who met me 8 years ago, and I get an 8-page letter of trying to convert into her religion with a big thick book about New Age spirituality, and obviously she did not pay attention at all into learning about who I am. So it's a
Interesting.
very, very old tradition, much older than most of the modern religions.
Yes. What is the Eightfold Path? If you can explain that. What is
It's
that?
just, yeah, it's just like correct thought, correct action, and it just kind of goes on to list the different things. So whatever you're working on, are you having the correct thought about it? Are you doing the correct action? Are you making the correct speech about it? So it kind of lists the different ways in which you can address the problem if you go through these 8 principles of evaluating your situation. And the Eightfold Path is really about evaluating the challenge that you're working on in all these different areas. And when you evaluate it and you look at it, you can see where your thought process or your actions kind of strayed away from what could be the best path for you. Yeah. And most people's issues are because they're not addressing their, they're not addressing their ego. They're not addressing, they're speaking out out of turn, or saying something that they shouldn't, or they're acting, in their own interest and not the interest of the situation. So a lot of these issues that many people deal with can be fixed if they just address it properly. So it's very logical.
Is there anything that you wanted to talk about that we didn't talk about yet, that you wanted to get a certain point across?
Yeah. Basically, the main message. Here's the main message that I get in a lot of my sessions, and it is the same message that I get from my spiritual tradition, Buddhism as well. And the message is really this, and this is a message that the Oversoul really wants everybody to know. You've always been enough. You've always been enough, and the time is now to start manifesting the life of your dreams, and you could do it. And by doing it, you help yourself and you help other people. And this life is about living in joy and being creative about all the resources that you have available to you. And whatever you are, in whatever part of the world, and in whatever incarnation you have a lot of gifts and resources available to you. So use them to create the life of your dreams. And that's really what the Oversoul wants everybody to know.
Nice. Like it. It's a good message. How do you see yourself going forward into the future? Where do you see yourself doing and what you're going to be doing?
Well, I try to, I know everybody has a New Year's resolution, and I try not to limit myself with a New Year's resolution or any kind of resolution, because I really don't know what better, reality I can manifest for myself. So I try to keep myself open. So, and usually I'm pretty darn surprised with what's around the corners. I'm like, well, I never thought about that. So I don't want to limit myself. Yeah, but I do know there's a couple themes that I work on. I want and I love. So I want to continue to publish books and write books of interest to me. And I am interested in a lot of things. And I work in digital marketing and the IT profession, and I know I want to continue to create content and, things out of the IT profession that kind of help people and that's fun. And so, yeah, I'm just open to what the universe has in store for me. So I'm kind of enjoying the ride. Yeah.
Well, if you're writing books, you're gonna have to do more interviews about your books and book tours and all that stuff.